OpenAI has teamed up with Instacart to introduce a groundbreaking grocery shopping app within ChatGPT. And for more, we're joined by Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. Karen, so great to have you back as always. What has inspired this collaboration within OpenAI to build this grocery shopping app?
Look, I think it's just another stage in the way that we're all going to do our shopping. Even now, so many people are finding products and services using AI, and this is just the next stage. They're trying to make it so seamless. So, for example, it's Instacart feature integrated into ChatGPT. It means that, for example, I do this, I'm sure you do it as well. If you're cooking and you're like, oh, I've got all these things in the fridge, what can I cook? Or asking for a recipe. And so what will happen is ChatGPT will spit out its recipe recommendation for you. And then you'll just be able to click through and then order these items through ChatGPT and then get them actually delivered so you can create the recipe at home yourself. It means that you're not going to have to then get the list and then go to another online app and do it that way. It'll just be seamless. And this is happening more and more within ChatGPT, and it's going to be the same with a lot of other AI tools, I can imagine too.
Okay, that does sound very cool and convenient. So you're saying you list whatever and then it basically finds it based on other websites like that? So Woolies in Australia, for example?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be here yet, but it means that, yeah, I think this feature is just going to be for food from what I can gather at the moment. So it just means that, yeah, it'll actually go to an online store, Coles or Woolies or whatever it is, or the equivalent in the US, and then purchase the food. You can purchase the food for it and have it delivered as part of that recipe. So it's more like a click through. What happens already on things like Instagram and Facebook, where you can actually click through and make a purchase from the supplier. It'll be similar to that, just making it easier.
Okay.
And it comes off the back of, like, I saw in a couple of weeks ago, ChatGPT has rolled out this new shopping research feature as well. Have you played with that yet?
No, I have not yet.
It's very good. For example, there's been this sort of pair of shoes they've gone out of business, but I've been dying to get another pair, and I've looked everywhere, spent hours scouring websites. And so I had this shopping research feature. I told it what I wanted, and it found pairs over in the UK. They don't deliver to Australia, but it actually, found exactly what I wanted without me having to do hours and hours of online research. So it's almost like a shopping agent, which will go off and find things for you.
Okay, that did lead to my next question in terms of like commerce and all these things. How do you think that's going to impact that space as a whole?
Oh, I just think people will be outsourcing their shopping. It'll be almost like having your own personal shopper to go off and find things. I think it'll be a long time before we'll let the agents do our shopping, like actually make the purchases for us. I'm sure we will get there, but I think there'll be a lot of trust issues before that happens.
Yeah. Once we let it handle the finances, then it gets a little bit scary.
Exactly. Agent your credit card, what could go wrong? But it's probably still hallucinating, and who knows what you end up with. But I think, imagine just going and having it go off and bring back a list of products, and then you can choose and then purchase through ChatGPT, but you make that final decision. It would save so much time searching online for things.
And what's the feedback been for the grocery shopping app so far?
I think it's just new, so I don't think it's actually happened yet, but I think it's just they're doing it because OpenAI is very good at looking at how people are using ChatGPT and its other tools, and I think they're very smart. They don't want you to leave ChatGPT. It's like the social media platforms not wanting you to leave and go elsewhere. So if they can keep you there and make it a seamless experience for you, then of course they're going to do it.
Absolutely, yes. I think they're collaborating with so many people, ChatGPT, and it makes sense that now they're into our grocery list as well. Let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
And as the social media ban for under 16s in Australia begins, teens in remote communities are expressing concerns that increased isolation will stem from losing vital connections from friends and family. Dr. Karen Sutherland, this is a huge topic in Australia right now. What are your thoughts on this?
The ban actually comes into force today, and I noticed when I opened TikTok this morning, probably too early in the day than I should, it had that message saying that it's going to check to make sure that I'm of age. I think it's actually in force right now. But look, I understand why the ban is happening. There's been so much research to show the damage that can be caused through social media use by younger groups, but on the other side, it also does a lot of good in connecting people. And so this latest story about youths in isolated areas, in regional areas, it is really true. Like, it's a way that they actually connect and build communities and interact with people around the country and the world. And it's similar to For example, I read a story about an exchange student living in a remote community as well, and now can't contact her family because that was the most cost-effective way to contact her family without having to pay for expensive phone calls and things like that. So that's been an issue. There's also younger people who may have a disability and can't leave the home very often and have mobility problems. So connecting online is just like a lifeline to them too. So there's going to be a bit of fallout, I think, from people who really experience the positive side of social media while the government is trying to get rid of the negative. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what positives and negatives are going to play out over the next few years because of this ban.
Yes, certainly. And Karen, do you think there are any other alternative communication options for these people in remote areas who are connected with their friends across the globe or interstate as well? Where will they turn to now?
Yeah, I think there are many other social media platforms that aren't in the ban yet. So I think even younger people will be seeking those out as well to make sure that they can still connect in some way. And I think it'll be a case of the government then finding out banning. So it's going to be a constantly moving space. But I also think there'll be a lot of rise for tech entrepreneurs to find a solution as well. That's, what is it, necessity is the mother of invention. So I think there'll be a lot of new things popping up as well to try and address this issue and reconnect younger people on social media. Even though it is against the law, it doesn't mean it's not the law anywhere else than in Australia right now. Other countries are looking to enforce it. I've seen that in the news too. But yeah, I think there'll be new things popping up and then people will move to other existing apps that are lesser known.
And what about the creative impact? Because a lot of younger teenagers under 16 use YouTube, these things to create all these fun, creative videos. What do you think they'll turn to rely on now?
I think YouTube Kids is still there, but I'm not sure if that's going to actually be what they want. Yeah, I know. It's really tough. I think there are other platforms that they're going to and trying out as well and that aren't banned yet. So I honestly think be communicating with each other to go over here and start communities wherever they can just to keep that connection, because it's such a form of self-expression, social media. But again, any technology is a double-edged sword. There's always a darker side. And I can understand why the government is taking this stance and enforcing this law, but there'll be other ramifications. For example, I read a story the other day where they were saying that young people get most of news and political knowledge from social media. So what has happened now? I can't see them going and reading newspapers. So what has actually happened to their education and their understanding and awareness of social issues and things that are happening in that space if they're not able to learn about them on social media?
Absolutely. Dr. Karen Sutherland, a fantastic rundown from you. No doubt this thing is going to just continue to evolve all the different platforms that may come into impact from this ban. But thank you so much for your insights today and really appreciate it.